Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm your host, John Robbins, always joined by head coach Sam Bauman, and we are going into Bethany Saturday. The game last year, no doubt about it, an instant classic, 27-26 in a monsoon down at Bethany. But for right now, we're focusing on this year's team, this week's game. So looking back, how's this team responded this week following back-to-back losses?
We had a really competitive week of practice. It was good to see us kind of go out and really push each other to get better and continue to work on the mistakes that we made. I think we played two decent games, just incomplete games, and we're looking to play a complete game this Saturday.
I think I've messed myself up over here. The two losses were more competitive than the past season, as you mentioned. What can you say contributed to that bump in competitiveness and talent-wise? I'd say is probably the two greatest things.
Yeah, I mean it's just the work ethic that we have going into year two. They're doing the things that we've been asking them to do consistently. So whether it's in the weight room over the summer, making sure that they're changing their bodies, doing what they need to be doing. So we're in a better spot. And then we've obviously recruited, and I think we have some talented players that are pushing our upperclassmen to continue to get better. So it's been a good mix of both.
And speaking of upperclassmen, we switch to the opponent, Bethany. They have an upperclassman-heavy defense, and the new coordinator that you mentioned earlier this week. How do you feel the offense can attack this defense?
I think they're a very aggressive unit. So it's going to be a challenge. I think they're much improved, very good. They fly around, but they are aggressive, so we can take advantage of that aggressiveness with hitting them on a bigger runs, because if we can get a seam, we should be able to get going for some big chunk plays, and then taking advantage of the RPO game, that kind of stuff off of it. So it's going to be a challenge. They do some really fun stuff, and it was I'm a defense coach, so it's always fun to watch defenses that fly around. But I like our game plan this week. I think we do some good stuff against this type of defense, and it's similar to what we try to do defensively as well. So our offense is very used to it, so it should be a fun matchup for us.
Speaking about the offensive game plan, has either quarterback put themselves in the driver's seat to start on Saturday?
Yeah, we have an idea who's going to be out there, so we're excited to kind of see how that all plays out. And it was a good week of practice at that position, so I'm pumped up to roll out there, I guess today, and get her done.
Besides those two guys, is there anyone else that you think should have a mention that had a big week of practice? Could have a big game this Saturday.
I think it's been 2 weeks in a row. Dre Rogers, the receiver, has really picked his game up. It's been fun to see him compete at a little bit higher level. So that was really good to see on the offensive side. I think that'd be the guy who kind of stood out for me over really the last 2 weeks of kind of putting his head down and really grinding.
And, going off script a little bit, he did have a great game last year against Bethany. Do you think that fuels him a little bit to have even bigger numbers this season?
I mean, I think he just wants to be the best player on the field, and that fuels him. So it doesn't matter who we're playing, what we're up against. He wants to go out there and compete at a high level, and I think he's starting to figure out the habits that he needs to be able to do that week in, week out.
And let's go to your side of the ball. Defensively, last year they had some pretty explosive athletes. They lost due to graduation. What does their offense have this season to make still have that explosive type of identity?
Yeah, no, they have speed. Their little slot receivers are really talented. They can all pop the top. So, it's going to be a challenge with them. And then at the edge, they have some nice players as well. Their quarterback play has improved. So, they're a good football team, both sides of the ball. They are much improved from last year as well. So it's going to be a challenge. But, I think we match up pretty well against them. And, I like our front against their front. They have some young guys who, have to step up. And I think we can take advantage of that with our upperclassmen.
And there is no ignoring getting around the big headline that last year you snapped the streak. I put quotes around it for this team last year. What would it mean to this program that you're building to get over the edge and finally get a win at home?
No, I mean just like before. It's just it's less of a monkey on the back, but it definitely still is in the back of some guys' heads that we haven't been able to get the home win in a little bit of time. But I think the mindset's changed. It's no longer about kind of winning one game. It's about stringing together good performances and being able to come away with multiple wins in multiple seasons. So, I think the need to just get one is no longer there. We're trying to build a competitive team that can win week in, week out. So it's in our conference, if you don't come with your A game, you're not going to be able to get a lot of wins, whether it's home or away. So it's an important one for us. I think it's one that, I'm pretty pumped up for Saturday. It should be an exciting game.
I love that mentality, Coach. Thank you for coming on. As always, we'll turn it back over to our live broadcast crew. If you're listening on YouTube, just switch over to WXCC 88.1 FM, Greenville, Pennsylvania, for Thiel versus Bethany.